I saw you sneak that one in there. All righty, I'm going to go ahead and get started. April, keep letting people in. How is everybody? You all doing good? Everybody good? I'm going to do most of the talking tonight. April will chime in on some stuff, but have you ever had like just like a Twilight Zone week? Like just a crazy week. Has that ever happened to anyone else out there where, you look back and say, this week was just freaking nuts. It was just one thing after another. And I had one of those this week. And I know April did too. And half the week we weren't together. That led to my Twilight Zone because for 3 days she's up in New York visiting her mom and taking some taking care of some business and stuff up there. And it's never a good idea to leave me alone. So it's like, you know, April laughs when she comes home. She says, "Yep, the same one dish, one cup, one fork, and one knife are used." I hate cleaning up, so I just use the same utensil, bowl, and cup while she's away. So, but it was crazy because last Sunday when we spoke, and April did a great training, and I told you folks that I would be doing a funnel training tonight, which is not going to happen. I'm sorry. Other things came up from the company, and I just won't have the time to do it. And I don't want to do it half-assed. I want to do it right, and it's not something you can do in 10 minutes. So it's just going to get put off to some future week, and I'll let you know when it is. But it was just a nutty week. And just when I'm getting ready, so we closed out the month, right? And some of you made a good push on that, and we had some rank advancements and some Bahia Mita qualifiers at on the last day and stuff. So that's great, and we'll recognize them in a second. But just as I'm getting ready to go bring my dad dinner on Friday, and he lives near the airport, so I was picking up April. I get a call from the company, and it was Gentry, okay, and Gentry was calling probably on behalf of Skylar. That's kind of the pecking order these days, and Skylar is under Jake, and Jake's under Kristen. That's kind of the sequence of events that deal with us out in the field. And I really was just going to let it go to voicemail. I just didn't feel like answering it. I wasn't in the mood for it, and we're none of us are employees, so we don't work for anybody. And but I took the call, and Gentry went on to talk me into doing something, and I had to decide on it for April because she was in the air, and I got to be careful with that because if you're not aware, April and I both have our own schedules, like she has her hobbies and things she likes to do, and generally it's in the morning, and I try and play pickleball at night if we're not doing something with business. So, and in between we're doing this business, okay? So anyway, I take it, and I got permission today to share this with you, but if I'm vague, it's only because I don't know. Okay, so what I am going to talk to you about for the next few minutes, after I go through recognition, I've been given permission to say. Okay, but if I sound like I don't know what I'm saying, it's because I don't know yet. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I'm not holding anything back. Whatever, matter of fact, I'm going to show you the email that I got. So that's been okayed. So anyway, long story short, it has to do with obviously the P84 product that is coming out. It has to do with a package that the company is putting together, like we had a special package over the summer. It has to do with leadership in LifeVantage, working with some leadership in Love Biome, to get the message straight on how to promote that product. And it sounds kind of funny, even me saying that to you right now, when no one's even seen it, never mind used it. Now I know product's on the way to Kenneth. I know product is on the way to me in April because we qualified for a free product, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. I mean, it was a long time ago, and for a while I forgot about it, but they did send us some P84 for us to use because we had done something back in June or whatever to qualify for it. So it's in the mail. We'll probably have it on Monday or Tuesday or whenever that is. Um, but what they explained is they were putting together what they had decided to name a captain's club, kind of like the Club 55 that they had for the GLP-1, similar, to that. And the reason why I wanted to pass on it, and I didn't, okay, I accepted, was because there's 6 hours of training this coming week in the middle of the day. And just 2 hours a day for 3 days in a row in the middle of the day. Well, we have a schedule like most people. We have plans and a schedule. And finally, I said I agree because Gentry was just like he wouldn't he was like a pit bull. And I was just saying like, why do I need to do this? I don't get it. And then he said, well, only one of you need to be on. You don't both have to be on for all of it. And then, long story short, I accepted. But here's the deal. Every time we get information, like on the 2 hours on Tuesday, we can go right to you with it. Okay, so there will be no like I was talking to Dan earlier and he was sharing how quick, the Canadian group is with sharing information with the team. Okay. The minute that we get whatever we get, you're going to get it. Okay, so we'll text it to the leaders, we'll post it in all the groups and stuff like that. So getting back to a little bit of my story, so it was like, all right, Gentry, I said yes. Can you can you go now? And then I start getting text and emails from Skylar, and I said, I already said yes. Okay, what do you want from me? I said yes already. And he said, well, we're going to let you buy some more so you have enough to use in this. And I said, great, whatever, you know. So anyway, I'll get to a little bit more of that after I go through a few slides. So let me go through our regular business first. Let me get my slides out, and then I'll get back to that. And you can ask questions, and I'll do the best I can to address them. So anyway, I think you probably have figured out that we're getting close to Dallas. Okay, it's April was just saying we play in some leagues now in pickleball. We had practice today, and we're driving home, and she said, Dallas is like just about 2 weeks away. And I'm like, yeah. I said, actually 2.5, but yeah, I know. There's under 100 seats left. Okay, so I don't know when that's going to sell out or what, but that's it. And we have stayed at the Anatole back when it was Lowe's Anatole. I don't know if it's Hilton or Marriott or whatever now, but they have no room to expand. Whatever room you got, you got. So when it's sold out, it's sold out. There won't be any extra seats there, but it is just 20. Well, I think last week it was 24 days from tonight. So now it's 17 days, okay, from tonight. But as I mentioned last week, a week from tomorrow is our first opportunity Zoom. Okay, it's on the 13th. And then there'll be another one after we get back from Dallas on Wednesday, the 29th. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the one coming up a week from tomorrow in a slide ahead. And then as I shared with you, I think they're calling it training camp or not boot camp, they're calling it training camp. A special training camp coming up this week on P84. And we're going to be sitting on 6 hours worth of training, but we can get whatever it is that we get out to you immediately, and we will. Okay, it'll happen. From the time they finish the call, within 20 or 30 minutes, it'll be posted everywhere that it can be posted. And as much as you want to stay up on it, you'll be able to do it. So first thing I want to do is a little recognition. Um, you know, we had a brand new SC1 last month, Alice. I think I'm saying her name right, but Watandi, I believe that's how you say it. I'm not sure, but Alice is part of Deanne Bouchard's team, and she hit the rank of SC1 last month. But I'm really excited about this one. Okay, and we went down to the last day, but that's okay. A lot of these trip things do generally go down kind of to the wire, but Deanne Bouchard hit and qualified for Bahia Mita, and so we'll get to meet her husband. She's bringing him to Dallas, and then obviously we get some spend some time with them in Mexico also. So I'm gonna ask Dee to speak when I'm done with the slides and just talk to you for a minute on how she went about doing what she's doing because Dee's pretty new in the business, and we're excited about that. But Kenneth had already made it. You had heard that a few weeks back. We had announced that, and then April and I had also earned it. So we're proud that three teammates are going on this trip. It was two with Alaska, three here. Actually, it was one in Africa, two in Alaska, three here. But like, we want lots. Okay. We want you all on whatever trip or thing that they announce next, which will probably, I don't know this, I'm just saying based on past history, will probably be announced some sort of trip no later than Dallas. Okay. I think they like the idea of these shorter 90-day kind of things where you sprint for the trip and then a month or two later you go on the trip. So there's no delayed gratification. So I think there's going to be more of that coming in the future. But, as soon as one ends, which this one just ended on, I don't know, what was it, Tuesday, I guess, the qualification for this ended, they always announce a new one. Okay. So it's coming. I don't think they'll announce it before Dallas, but I would be very surprised if they didn't announce something in Dallas. Okay. So anyway, keep that in mind. As I said, we got 17 days to go. Um, that's that's a lifetime in this business, 17 days. Okay. So, the only problem we're facing this time is tickets are very low. That's the only problem. So anyway, if you're on the fence, get off the fence, and if you're thinking about it, buy your ticket, and I'd advise buy it tonight. So it's one of these days it's going to be gone. Okay. So the one thing I want to take a little bit of time with is so it's 8 days away. Okay. Our next opportunity presentation, the live on Zoom. And, this serves two purposes. And I'll tell you what April and I do. We go all out to get people on live. And you've heard me say this before, okay, to get them on live so that they get a chance to be a part of the movie. They're one of the Hollywood squares. Okay. And there's a whole different level of how people pay attention when they're on live than when they watch a replay. Okay. And look, a lot of people watch the replays. If you go look like at the ones that we did last month and the month before, they get hundreds of views after. And we always use the latest one to share with our newest prospects. Okay, so after this is done in 8 days, the replay of this next one will replace the one that we're currently using. Okay, and that way they're always seeing the newest replay. So there's two things that go on here. We go all out to get everybody on live so they're a member and a part of the Hollywood Squares. Okay, that first. But then we have the newest replay available to share with the people that said they were going to be on but weren't on. And April's talked to you about this a zillion times. We always assume everybody was on and then give them a replay to watch as long as they tell us when they're going to watch it and schedule the next date to talk with us about it. And when I say the next date, that means the next day. Okay, like they got 24 hours to watch it, and we're going to call and talk more about it. So, I know I've said this many times before, but when there's a live opportunity presentation, the 48 hours before that, everything that you do for your business should be geared towards getting them on that. And this month you get two to do it. No, we've been doing just one, and this month it's going to be two, and we'll see how two go. We don't know what they're going to announce and say in Dallas. We don't know what other incentives or other whatever it is. We don't know what they're going to do. So obviously, we're doing one the week after Dallas, but we'll see what happens with November and December and whether we do one or two each of those months too. So, April, you want to chime in on anything in reference to this here?
Yeah, I'm just excited. This is just another way for you to have something to talk to people, to be able to reach out to them and start a conversation. And, we've talked time and time again. It's all about the reach outs. It's all about the touch. I can tell you last week I was really, really busy and it wasn't with a lot of LifeVantage, and we can tell, again, I'll say it again. If I don't make the calls, I don't get the calls. The links don't go out and people don't join. It's pretty simple and basic. So use it as an event to get people on, whether they're on or not. It's just another chance to talk to them again. So
And the same thing with and I'll talk a little bit more, and obviously this week be sharing as much as we can with you with whatever it is they show us, give us. I'd just like to see a picture of it at this point. But I really do want to hear from some of their leadership, even more than any science person or the owner. I want to hear from the leadership that, what they have to say about their personal testimony with the product and what kind of feedback their customers have been feeding them. And that is really the information that I'm looking for with the P84. But like April said, that's another reason to reach out to people. It's something new to talk about. It's a different icebreaker. So, and this business, it's all about touch points. And it's not like it used to be where two, three, four touch points would get it done. We're in the teens now with the touch points, okay, before people make a decision. But the good news is we can be working on hundreds of people at a time instead of three or four. Okay, that's the good news. And we'll always make sure you got events to plug into. So this one will be, and I'm not posting these yet. I just want you to know they're ready. This will be for the after Dallas meeting, and I'll give you these after next week's meeting's over. Okay, but this will be for the second live opportunity Zoom when we get back from Dallas. Okay, so let me talk to you a little bit. And basically, this is the email that I got. It was welcome, hello, and welcome to Captain's Club. And I'm not going to read it word for word, but on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 10 to 12, which Eastern time is 12 to 2, they're going to be doing 2 hours of training a day on P84 and the package that they're going to be promoting P84 with, which is with our NRF2 Pro Tandem. Okay, that's going to be the package. So there's going to be a deal. There's going to be a point value. There's going to be special price. I don't have that. Okay, I can tell you this. I do know that the consumer price for the P84 is a whole lot less than what we thought it was. It's only $169 for the stack. That's for both of them because there's two products that go with it. And I remember looking at their website and it was over 200 for each. We were thinking it was going to be about 400 bucks. But again, we don't know what was going on either. Okay. It's all, speculation and guessing and everything else. So it's 169 for the P84. Now it's not for sale. You can't buy it, you can't order it. We do have a price. Okay, that is the price, and it's for both of them, and they're calling it a stack. But the P84 stack with the Pro Tandem is going to be the enrollment package that they're pushing. Okay, so we'll just keep you updated as they share with us, and obviously Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. By the time they finish up on Thursday, we're only 2 weeks away at that point from Dallas. So, and hopefully, like I said, I know Kenneth's got his on the way. April and ours is on the way. Hopefully, we got something to share with you that's really exciting. after using it for 2.5 weeks. That's what we're looking forward to. So anyway, anything more than that, I just don't know. This was the whole Gentry Skylar thing late Friday. Okay. So anyway, as soon as we get whatever it is that we get, we will share with you. Okay, so the one thing I do want to talk about tonight, and then again, April, please chime in after this, and I just want to check one other thing. Okay, so the one big shift, and you've heard us talk a little bit about it, um, that we have made in the business, and if you go back a year and a half, 2 years ago, remember when they had the bonus pools and you got cash for the bonus pools, and some people got one, two, three, four, five, different. I don't remember what the cash was on it. I think it was $200 or something, but it was for gathering customers and starting to move towards what would eventually be diamond. Okay, it was leading up to the Evolve compensation plan because they knew there was going to be a lot of money in the product customer side of things. So they were starting to, let's say, program us for what was coming because they couldn't tell us what was coming because we're a publicly traded company and some things need to be kept quiet until you tell the powers that be. Okay, so that's what was going on. They're trying to change our behavior before Evolve came. So we all got very, very heavy with products. And sometimes with products and getting heavy with products, we can get sciency. And sometimes when we get sciency, we get scary. We scare people when we start talking about science. And I can tell you one thing, and the one, I guess, thing that kind of clinched it for us to commit to 6 hours. That still blows my mind. I can't imagine. I said that to Gentry. What in the world are you going to tell me for 6 hours about one product? One product. What are you going to do? But the one thing that he kept saying, the simplicity of how to explain it. I said, well, then what do we need 6 hours for if it's going to be? I was busting him, to be honest with you, but it ain't the first time. He's kind of used to it now. I think he's getting a kind of immune to it at this point. But anyway, we all got very, very product oriented. Okay, so let me share this with you. If we choose, and most of us have been doing this for a long time, okay, to start a conversation with a person about our activation products, whether it be our skincare, whether it be our Protandim line, whether it be our collagen, okay, whether it be our GLP-1, or whatever exciting science is backing this P84 gut health product, okay, whatever it is. But think about this. This is so important. What if you approach somebody about a product and you're kind of guessing which one they'd be interested in? Maybe if you're looking at a woman and she's got more wrinkles than she should for her age, forgive me, ladies, I'm not real good with this, okay? Guys just seem to, get distinguished looking. Women hate them wrinkles. So if somebody looks like they have a few more wrinkles than maybe their age, and you guess to talk collagen, but they didn't bite, how do you bring up the opportunity when they said no to you already? How do you bring it up? Okay. Or if you decided to talk to me about GLP-1 or skincare or Protandim, you chose your bullet, you picked it out, and it missed. How do you then turn the conversation to opportunity? Well, it's almost impossible. Okay, almost. Because they already shut down. They already said no. And then what are you going to do? Well, let me tell you how we make money with it. No, I'm there. It's done. You already killed them. You guessed wrong. Okay, so one of the things that we've started doing is including opportunity in the very first conversation we have with people. Okay. And it's a lot easier to start with the opportunity because you can start with saying, man, I'm so excited about this new business. Who knew that when I got involved and started a business so I could earn another income or build a residual income or help my retirement or earn money for my kids' college, whatever your reason is, okay? Who knew that when I made a decision to start a business, these products would do what they did? Man, I assumed when I made a business decision they worked, but I never thought my joints would feel so much better when I used the collagen. I never dreamed the discoloration would go away in my skin. I never dreamed that the wrinkles would fade. Okay. I couldn't imagine, getting rid of oxidative stress would help my inflammation and free up my movement or help with this disease or that disease. If you start with the business and you mention the money and you say, I never imagined what the products were going to do, and you got to use your own words. I'm talking like Bobby talks. Okay, my grammar is imperfect and I don't care. Okay, but I am passionate and enthusiastic when I get into it. Okay, but here's the point: the opportunity to earn money needs to come up in the first conversation, whether they like the product or not. Because when I got involved in this industry, it's going to be in 2 weeks, well, right now we're in October. It's 33 years ago. Okay, when that guy walked into my picture frame business, he was selling water filters. Okay, when I framed his magazine, my company was getting ready to go out of business. All I could think about was, how am I going to replace a $90,000 salary? That was my salary in 1992. How was I going to replace it? Okay. When I saw all these people making money, and I saw this commercial real estate guy from Long Island in a Mercedes excited about this business more than his real estate business, I said, wow, if there's money to be made, I want to know about it. I didn't care what the product was. I didn't care as long as it wasn't illegal drugs or something. It just didn't matter. Okay. And I said, can I come to a meeting? I'd like to learn more about it. And I went home, I told April, and we got dressed, and the next night we went to a meeting. Okay. See, the money came up first. And you know what? We didn't end up doing that because the day after that, April went into her office and her accountant told her about this new wellness company that was starting. And that's how we ended up getting involved in our first business. But without seeing the money, without the money being brought up, it doesn't happen. We're not here tonight, 33 years later. It never happens. Okay. So I have nothing against talking to someone first about the products as long as the opportunity is included in that first conversation. You don't have to say this is for you. You don't have to say that they got to do it because you did it. It's got to be said so that they know there's money to be made, whether they like what you say about whatever product you chose to talk about or not. It needs to be said. I don't think people love driving 24 hours a day and that's why they do Uber. Okay. I think they drive because they earn money. That's their product, is driving people from one place to another place. They do it because they earn money. Okay. And you've heard me joke about McDonald's. I've said it a million times. The people that buy them, most of them don't eat there. They invest 1 million, 2, 3 million, or whatever it is because it makes money. Okay, yeah, maybe occasionally they'll eat some French fries or a shake, who knows? But that's not why they're buying it. Okay, they're buying it to make money. So we shifted, going back from what I was saying earlier about how we got programmed to get in those bonus pools for that whole year leading up to before our new Evolve compensation plan came out. And it was product, 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 so we could get in the pool. And we got used to not bringing up the business. Okay. We just got used to it. Who knows how many people you and I missed because we needed one more to get in the pool. Never even thought about mentioning the business because it wasn't on our mind. We had product on our mind and maybe getting in the bonus pool on our mind, and that was it. We were thinking about earning money because we would get in the pool. We weren't thinking about maybe they need to earn money or maybe they don't need to earn it. Maybe they want more. Okay. So 90 days ago, we shifted that conversation and we went from 80 to 90% customers, all right, for all our enrollments. Okay. We were 80 to 90% customer. Okay. That's and 10, 15% was consultant. In a 90-day window, we shifted to 80 to 90% consultant and 10 or 15% customer. Well, what changed? There's still people. It's the same videos. It's the same. Our conversation and getting the opportunity included in the beginning is what changed. So now we have people looking to build a business instead of just being a customer. Why? Because we said it existed. April, you want to add something to that?
Yeah, I always I always mention it. I mention it briefly, but I always mention it in a takeaway. I'm always telling them you're going to absolutely love the product. People are going to know, there's a great opportunity behind it. I know you're not interested. I know you got all the money in the world you need, or I know you don't have the time for this, whatever is relevant to them. But if you know anybody that might be, and then they're all, because I excluded them and I, disqualified them from what they think. They're like me. So it's just a great
Tell it
way.
like it is, April. You dismiss them.
I dismiss them, yes. And so people don't like that feeling. Nobody wants to be left out. It's like the party that goes on that you didn't get an invite to, people get upset with. So they want to be invited to everything. So, it's just, I know you don't need, I know this is not for you type of thing. If you get that out there in the front, it does two things. One, yeah, it lets them know there's an opportunity, but it also implants in them that once they start getting results with this product and somebody else asks them about the product, they make sure that one, they know, yes, they can make money with it, but they also can tell that person they can make money with it. So it kind of just sets up some expectations rather than just a great product. It's a great product and a business that may or may not be for you. But it's all this wording, the way that you say things makes it so easy. And it's not that there's a lot of emphasis on it. It's just a statement you get out there. And those that receive it, receive it. And those that don't, that's fine too. That's totally cool. So yeah, it's a good thing. And I think the thing that you are looking for, if you're looking for consultants, you're going to get consultants. If you're looking for customers or to sell a product, you're going to sell a product. I mean, it's whatever your focus is on, you're going to see that you come across. So yeah, so exciting times for our company for sure.
Just remember, our opportunity for others to earn money is one of our products, and it should be our best selling product. We got a lot of good activating products out there, but our opportunity is activating too, you know. So anyway, before we call it a night, Dee, can you unmute yourself? And we're very excited that you, Dee, we're so proud of you, and we're very excited that you made it onto the trip. It's your first trip of what will be many.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sure will be many. So just
hopefully.
share a little bit about, how excited you are and your husband coming and everything else. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it did come down to the wire, but that's okay. We made it. And, you know, we're super excited. It's actually our 20-year anniversary that weekend. So that
Oh,
was,
cool.
we get a free trip for our anniversary, which is really, really cool. Yeah. So just, just putting in the work and seeing I mean, I'm excited because once I get to go to one, then it's going to just give me that excitement to do more. Right. And like, I'm not going to want to miss a trip.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm excited for. And then for everybody to meet Wayne and honestly, just be a part of that group and just be able to converse and just, community is everything. Right. So having that community whatever we do out here, we're on an island, and just having that, meeting more people and getting more engagement. Yeah, I mean, I'm only, I don't know how many months in,
Not many.
8 months in, 7 months in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6 or 7, something like that. Yeah.
So honestly, yeah, it's super exciting. And, you guys are always there. I can call, I can text, so having that support is huge in this business. And I've done these before and I never had that before. So I thank you guys wholeheartedly, because if it
Well,
wasn't for you, I wouldn't be.
we appreciate you. And you said something that April and I said to each other. I think it was probably about 30 years ago that we went on our first trip with our first company. And it was kind of like the safari in Africa thing. It was a very, very expensive cruise. It was on a line that called Crystal Cruises, okay? And we were in the French Riviera, and we had penthouse suites on the ship and butler service and all kinds of crazy stuff. And I remember April and I saying, if they're paying, we're going.
Yeah.
We are never going to miss a trip. If someone is paying for it, we're going,
Yeah.
and you know what? We have not missed a trip,
And there's not been a bad one.
and it's not a bad one. And you
It's
know
not
what?
bad.
There's something really cool about someone else picking up the tab.
Yeah.
There's something cool about it. So anyway,
Really.
congratulations. So
Thank
how about
you.
again for Dee? That was a last minute one. Can we get show her some love here?
Oh,
I love
thank
it. I love it. It's
you.
great.
Hey,
Anyone have
I
any
do want to
questions?
share. I have the
Ooh.
P84.
Is it from them or from when? From
Yeah, from my fan, because I made that as
you made
well.
that? Oh, so
Oh, wow, cool.
that's what happens when you live next door to where they are. You get it quick.
Yeah, so you get a little blender
So
bottle, and then
put them up there so we can see them. So that's number 2, and what's number
here's
1?
number one. Here's number one.
And are they packets? Are they like the Axio packets?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
Cool. Good.
So
Hopefully
then
one is there tomorrow.
1 and 2 in the water in a blender bottle or whatever you want to drink. So
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
So anyone have any questions before we let you go? Anything good, comments, anything? We good? All righty. Remember, we will be keeping you updated Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with whatever it is that they tell us, okay? Whatever pictures, training, photos, videos, anything they give us, we'll get right over to you. And remember, the live Zoom is 1 week from tomorrow. Okay. Anyway, we'll talk to you next Sunday. We can't wait to see you in Dallas. We're gonna have a blast. That's our old stomping ground, so it's gonna be fun. But have a great night, everyone, and thanks for joining. Bye-bye.